Tell us about the aspect of patience and how key that has been for you guys. I mean, I understand this goes back a few years, and that notion itself was something that you guys regard as a key factor to your progression.
Yeah.
Definitely. So we've been a band for I guess over a little over 2 years, 2.5 years, and I think especially with the record, you know, we there was like a few times before we made this record that we made that we thought that we were ready, and we were like, oh, let's try to make it, and then every time we did, it wasn't quite right.
Mm-hmm.
So then we finally got with our producers, this guy named Matthew Molnar, who was in the band Friends, and he kind of helped us make this record and kind of helped us see some things in ourselves that we didn't really know how to bring out or weren't sure if we wanted to. So I think that we kind of had to be patient with that and trust that we were going to get to that point, and I think that we made a record that we really like. So I think that's definitely, and all things in art and things you care about take patience.
Yeah.
And you know, as you guys are situated in Jacob's house, you know, in Long Island, practicing, I mean, what's the level of focus commonly like when you guys are there, the atmosphere? Is it just kind of something you just embrace what's coming out of you and it's a free flow, organic kind of crafting process?
Yeah, it changes day to day.
Yeah, we have good practices and we have bad practices, but I feel like usually we're pretty focused on what we're doing. Usually there's not a lot of talking, it's mostly playing.
We have productive days and unproductive days.
Yeah.
Like I think everyone has those.
Yeah, especially within like a team. It depends on everything, but and then even with the song too, like sometimes something will come to us in like an hour. Sometimes it'll come to us over like 4 months.
Yeah.
Or, you know, so it's like you just have to try to be like as open as you can and not shut out any ideas
and trust each other and trust yourselves. Yeah.
How would you guys personally characterize the mood? I mean, what would you say echoes most about this release personally, the significance of it to you guys?
I think it's a pretty melancholy album. I really love melancholy music. I think
we all do.
Yeah, it's my favorite feeling, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to capture too.
Yeah.
And I think that we kind of are we're not really rooted at all in the 60s or the 70s or the 80s or even the 90s, but we pretty much, I think, touch on all those different sounds in a few different ways on the record. Sorry, and I think that it's also a very modern sounding album. I think it really celebrates the last 50 years of rock pretty evenly.
We're also like trying to look forward.
Yeah, trying to look forward.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to be like a cover band or like a band that just like does like one type of thing. So it's more interesting to kind of try to change it up and yeah.
And let's talk about some of the material. I wanted to get your views on some of the material on this album. Firstly, the song Creation Myth. I understand this is a song you guys are each very fond of, a song that you guys used to open with when the inception of the band a few years ago. And Jacob, I know you're very fond of this song, but you reformatted the instrumentation for the record, and it's a personal favourite. What is it about this song that you really kind of hits a high note for you?
Yeah, we used to play it a lot. Like the first year we were playing live shows, we used to open with it.
I think it's uniquely us.
Yeah, and then we stopped playing it for a while, and then brought it back kind of when we were like figuring out what songs we were gonna put on the record. And we kind of just, I don't know, messed around with it for a while and spent a lot of time with like figuring out like how to like make it really cool and different. And,
I really like how bold the title is and how ambiguous the song actually is. And I think that the one heavy part at the end of it is the most important part of the entire album.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because it's like the entire album is a little bit on edge, and I feel like there's moments of sweetness and there's a lot of moments of maybe like skepticism and nervousness, and I feel like that's the only part of the album that like gives in to the nervousness and like the tension and finally like breaks, like like almost like a thunder.
I have to ask you also about the opener, Human Ceremony. I mean, you know, it covers a vast palette of instrumentation, and you know, it's, you know, the soundscapes they resonate so well. Yeah, tell us about you guys fleshing this song out from the ground up. I mean, was it something, again, did it just kind of come out of you, or was, you know, because it's got quite a few layers and it's very impressive.
Yeah, the story of that song is actually funny, because that's actually, that song, Human Ceremony, This Kind of Feeling, and Come On, all used to be one song that we would open our shows with.
It was like a 14-minute opener.
Yeah.
Which
And
is
then-
kind of a crazy idea.
Yeah, and then which we were playing live for a while. and
We
then-
cut it up into its 3 distinct parts and kind of fleshed them out as their own songs pretty quickly because a 14-minute song with different time changes and tempo changes
Yeah.
is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun for a while, but we really liked all those parts and kind of wanted to see what we could do with them. And then that was a song I remember that it was one of the first we started working with Matt, and we started doing the backup vocals. And then I think that kind of set the tone
That was like a
for,
catalyst, yeah, for the rest.
for what
of
the
it.
rest of the record was going to be too. And we were like, oh, this is how we're going to tie in everything. And,
Yeah.
so we definitely experimented a lot with that one, and all the songs really, in the demoing process to see what we could do with them.
And speaking of experimenting, Julie, I wanted to ask you about there's your vocal delivery throughout the record. Again, it covers a wide range, and what commonly decides the way you're going to use your vocals? Is it the sounds being formulated, or again, is it just something that whilst you guys are jamming it out, it just comes simultaneously?
Yeah, I'd say that's it as much as anything can be simultaneous. I think I went to school for singing in high school, so I studied a lot of like classical music, and that's kind of what I wanted to do for a little while. And then I decided not to do that, and especially when I joined Sunflower Bean, I definitely didn't want to sing like that anymore, and I wanted to try out all these different things. And then when it came time to do the record, I kind of felt like I went back to at least that knowledge a little bit, or I kind of actually did want to go back there because it does feel like a big part of me, and I think there's so much of all of us and ourselves on the record that it's we all bring different things to the table. So we definitely wanted to try to incorporate that a little bit, and I think we're happy with it, and I think brings in a new era a little bit.
Well, one of the things that you guys do enjoy is life on the road, and while it might sound or come across mundane to others, it's something that you very much enjoy. And you've been playing shows in the UK has been treating you so well. It's a place that you're very fond of. I know, Julie, you would love to have grown up in the 70s in London. And I mean, what is it about the UK that it seems to just go hand in hand? And what's the experience has been like so far?
I'm just excited here.
There's more of a market for rock music in the UK and Europe. In America, a band with guitars and anything interesting going on could not ever make it to a stadium level.
Maybe a Vaccines level.
Yeah, when we toured with the Vaccines, we were just so happy that an actual rock band could play venues like that. Because in America, there are no rock bands in the top 40. There's probably not even guitars on pop songs in the top 40.
Yeah.
In America, the biggest rock band in the world is Tame Impala, and they can do 3,000
in New York.
cap in New York, and then nothing
Actually,
else.
that's not true. They played Radio City.
Is that 5,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're an anomaly.
Yeah.
There's no one in America doing the same thing as the Arctic Monkeys or the Vaccines or anything
Tame
like
from
that.
Australia.
Yeah, they're not
but I'm
really
saying in
American.
America, they
Yeah.
can play
Yeah.
that
They
market.
probably are the biggest rock band
In the world, yeah.
Your skills at Twitter. Now, here's a few from yourself. You're not really too vocal on Twitter, and here's a few from yourself. You're writing a tweet, but does it even matter? How much are you supposed to tweet? I just don't understand. And then you disappeared for a few months, and you came back, and you wrote, am I supposed to be funny on this or what? And then you come back after another few months, and you wrote, what is Twitter all about really? So have you come to terms with what it's all about?
I haven't. I don't get it. I don't get Twitter.
Technology.
I
How to
can't.
turn on a TV.
I can't turn on the TV.
We were all living in the same apartment for a year, and every time Julia wanted to watch TV, she had to find either me or Krista or Jacob to turn on the
That's
TV
not
for
true.
her.
I could absolutely.
It's 100%
I
true.
could turn it on. It would just take longer, and it was more like a trial and,
And
error.
you had a notion for it. You just go.
I just. My problem with my number one problem with Twitter is that my phone is very broken, and for me to have Twitter on my I have no apps because I can't take photos. So it's Twitter's always the first to go. That's why it disappears for months. It's the only time I ever bring it on is if I'm really
I
trying
feel like
to
we'll-
make an effort.
I'll make main attempts at using
Yeah,
Twitter
all
like every
three of
couple
us don't
every
really
couple
like
months.
Twitter.
It's a little scary. It's
Yeah.
like if it's like direct like brain to 140 characters.
Yeah.
It's like if I was supposed to be a writer, I'd be a writer.
It's all about
Absolutely.
being
if I was
vocal
supposed to be
too.
like
Mhm.
It's not really about like sharing your life experience with other people. It's more about like saying what you think
Just
about
like,
a subject.
yeah, it seems very
Yeah, it's
aggressive. The whole app is kind of ugly.
I kind of like how it records history now.
It's
That
hard
like when
to
something
use.
happens, everyone tweets about it. So like in 200,000 years, when they're studying like human history, they'll just look at Twitter and they'll be like,
Kanye was really
2040
something, right? Is that the point of Twitter? Like, you know, I'll just read.
It's
an
for
article
celebrities and normal people just watch.
to normal people to think about what it's like to be a celebrity.
Or like tweet at the celebrities that they like. Like I might like go home and like tweet at, I don't know, who's a celebrity that I like.
I don't know. You're not very good with celebrities.
I don't know, like someone who I'd want to talk to, and I just tweet at them until they talk to me.
Yeah, I guess so.
From here on in, you know, what matters most to you with your progression? I mean, what do you hope to maintain and stay true to?
I don't know if we have to stay true to anything. I just hope we can continue to like grow as musicians and write better songs and just, you know, all that sort of thing. Like keep at it. We love playing live. We're gonna be doing that probably until we're at least like 35 or so.
Until our ears go, probably,
Yeah.
which might be within the year.
Yeah, we really like traveling too. We like hanging out with other bands that we look up to or have mutual like sort of like band crushes on.
Yeah.
We really like seeing good live music, but overall I think we just want to make some more records and we want to get better at making records and better songwriting.